Now that we have discussed portfolio return, the next step is to understand how to calculate portfolio risk. But before we calculate portfolio risk, we first need to understand the concept of correlation. The tendency of two variables to move together is called correlation, and the correlation coefficient measures this tendency. The symbol for the correlation coefficient is the Greek letter rho. The estimate of correlation from a sample of historical data is often called R. So now, what exactly does this correlation mean when it comes to stocks? We're going to look at three examples for that. In the first case, we have two stocks, stock W and stock M. These are the graphs, and over here you can see the table is provided that in 2003 till 2007 what was stock W's return and what was stock M's return. Then they have also calculated the average return, which is 15% in both cases, and the standard deviation of both stocks is 22.6% and 22.6%, which means if you purchase stock W, the average return is 15% and the standard deviation, the amount of risk that you will have to bear, is 22.6%, and same is the case if you go for stock M. Now look over here, the portfolio WM. So if you invest 50% of the stock of your amount in stock W and 50% of your investment in stock M, then you can calculate the average return in every case. You can see that over here the return is 15% in each and every case. Now how does this 15% came? They have simply multiplied it by the weight. So 50% investment is in stock W plus 50% of your investment in stock M. Multiply both of these values and add them, it will give you 15%. Similarly, 50% if your investment, if it's in stock W, plus 50% of your investment in a stock M, you can again multiply and add both of the values, it will again come 15%. So which means over here you can see that the return is constant regardless of which year. So the average return is still 15%, but the standard deviation over here is 0, which means if you invest 50% of your amount in stock W and 50% of your amount in stock M, you can actually create a riskless portfolio, because whatever the situation, it will always give you a return of 15%. So going back to the graphs, you can see that when W decreases, stock M actually increases, and it's the vice versa. When W increases, stock M decreases. So which means when one goes down, the other actually increases. You can see it from here as well. When this gives you a 40% return, over here you have a negative 10% return. So let me just clear this. So which means that they're actually moving in opposite directions. When the sign over here is positive, over here it's negative. When this becomes negative, this actually becomes positive. So they're actually moving in opposite directions. Because of that, if you combine both of these stocks in your portfolio, 50% of stock W and 50% of stock M, you can actually create a portfolio that will always give you the same amount of return, because the loss at one place is being compensated by the profit of the other place, and the profit of one place is being compensated by the loss of the other place. So over here you have a flat line over here, because there is no fluctuation, there is no risk at all. You will always get a return of 15%. So this is the example of two perfectly negatively correlated stocks. So when stocks are perfectly negatively correlated, which means they have a correlation coefficient of -1, all risk can be diversified away. So if you can find two perfectly negatively correlated stocks, we can actually form a riskless portfolio. Okay, so this is why correlation is important. Now it's important that how do two stocks actually move together. If there is a loss in one stock, is the other stock giving a profit or not? Because that will compensate your risk. Moving on to the next example, now over here we again have stock M and another stock which is also we're going to use the name stock M. And now what you're doing is you're combining both of the stocks to form a portfolio MM. So over here you can see, now over here the both stocks are going to move in the same direction because basically they are the same stock. So if stock M increases, stock M dash will also increase, and if stock M decreases, so does stock M dash. So their movement is together, it is identical. If one goes up, the other will also go up, and if one goes down, the other will also go down. In that case, the stocks are perfectly positively correlated, and this coefficient is going to be positive 1. And over here diversification will do no good whatsoever. So you cannot eliminate risk at all over here because both of the stocks are perfectly positively correlated. It means that they have a correlation coefficient of 1 in this case, which is exactly what you can see over here. So because they're not moving in opposite directions, if this gives a negative 10, over here also you have a negative 10 loss, so you still have a negative 10 loss, and so your average return for stock M is 15%, average return for stock M dash is also 15%, the standard deviation is the same, and the standard deviation is the same over here as well. So by combining the portfolio, you are unable to reduce your risk. Now moving ahead, so till now we have seen that if the stocks are perfectly negatively correlated, that all risk can be diversified away and you can actually form a riskless portfolio. But if the stocks are perfectly positively correlated, then diversification does no good and you cannot eliminate risk. In reality, you neither have perfectly negatively correlated stocks, neither do you have perfectly positively correlated stocks. In reality, you have partially correlated stocks. And past studies have actually estimated that on average, the correlation coefficient between the returns of two randomly selected stocks is about 0.3. So, under this condition, combining stocks into portfolios reduces risk but does not completely eliminate it, which you can see over here as well. So over here again you have stock W and now you have stock Y. Now both stocks, neither do they have identical movements, neither do they have perfectly opposing directions. Okay, so they have a relationship movement together, but that is only 0.3. So over here if you look at stock W, you can see that the standard deviation is 22.6, and if you see stock Y, it is still 22.6. So if you invest 50% in stock W and 50% in stock Y, you will get this portfolio, and over here the return is still 15%, but the standard deviation is 18.6%. So the standard deviation has reduced now. So you were able to reduce your risk, but you cannot eliminate it. Okay, that's why return is calculated as a weighted average of each portfolio. Once you're calculating the portfolio's return, it is simply the weighted average of the expected return on its individual stocks. However, the portfolio's risk cannot be the weighted average of the individual stock standard deviation. The portfolio's risk is generally going to be smaller than the average of the stock standard deviations because diversification will lower the portfolio's risk. So the key takeaway from here is that, like over here, you calculate return as a weighted average. The portfolio return is a weighted average of each individual stock. Standard deviation, the portfolio's risk is not similarly calculated. It cannot be the weighted average of each individual stock because of correlation. because of how the two stocks relate to each other.